Hello, my name is Revanth, and today I'll be talking about my development plan of West Page Borough. So where is West Page Borough? Well, West Page Borough is a small town in New Jersey. It's a rural community and has many undisturbed habitats such as farmlands, wetlands, rivers, grasslands, forests, and sand pits. And all of these habitats have diverse animals and diverse plants. And this biodiversity helps to keep the environmental needs and the people's needs in balance. And as you can see, the current population of West Page Borough balances the needs of the people as well as the environment. So what is the problem? Well, the expected problem is that there's an expected increase in human population by over 50%. And this means that habitats have to be cut down for human development and occupancy. And this can be a severe problem for many different animals that live in these habitats due to the reason that their habitats are being cut down. And this can severely affect their populations. And so, by this 50% increase in population, we are no longer meeting the animals' needs. And there's an unbalance in people's needs as well as environmental needs. However, I have 4 goals that can help prevent this problem. And the 4 goals of my plan are that to sustain the 50% increase in human population. I know that 50% increase in human population means that I need more infrastructure implemented. I need more buildings, more homes, more services. So I have to meet the needs of the people, as well as protect the environment as well, because I don't want to hurt the animals living in these habitats. So I have to balance the needs of the people as well as the environment. Now, as you can see in this diagram, I have 3 pictures. First, I have my first objective, which is to meet people's needs, and they are one aspect. 2 is animals, and this is a really important aspect. 3 is the environment itself, and all 3 of these aspects, when joined together, will equal a bright future for West Page Borough. So what are the animals being protected in my plan? Well, there are 4 habitats being protected: forests, wetlands, forest edge, and grasslands. And as you can see, in forests I have 3 animals: black bear, which is shown in this picture, the chickadee, and the white-footed mouse. As for wetlands, I have the snapping turtle, the barred owl, and American toad. And here is a snapping turtle. As you can see here, this is a forest edge, and over here is a deer and the red-necked pheasant. As for grasslands, we only have the red fox. So, population predictions. Well, as you can see for the black bear, its current population as of right now is increasing, which shows that the environment meets more than just the needs of the black bear, and the black bear takes this to its advantage. And so therefore, when I deforest some trees for human development, it can return the black bear's population back to stable. As for the chickadee, I predict that there will be no increase or decrease in population. This is due to the fact that the chickadee feeds on the same things as the black bear does. It feeds on seeds, insects, and fruits. And as you can see before, the black bear population was dominating over the chickadee population. And after deforesting some trees, the chickadee population will naturally decrease. However, there will be less competition for food for the chickadee. And so, by having less shelter but more food, the population of chickadees will still be stable. As for the white-footed mouse, it will also become stable. For wetlands, these animals the barred owl was being threatened, and these 2 animals were stable. Well, after implementing my plan, all 3 of these animals will become stable. This is because that I will leave all wetlands unharmed, considering the fact that wetlands are an important habitat and they should never be messed with. As for forest edge, the deer and the red-necked pheasant both have declining populations. I predict that using my plan, both of these populations will increase. This is due to the fact that I will leave most of forest edge alone. Forest edge is basically the trees that are the perimeter of many other habitats. And when I deforest trees, I will be mostly cutting towards the interior of forest, not the outside. So I hope that these 2 populations will increase. As for the red fox, its population will still be stable. Here is a map of West Page Borough. So starting from the top left corner, we have trees. And trees are symbolized by green hexagons over here. And they're dark green. The light green is represented by grasslands. And this is where most of the homes, which are symbolized by little houses and hexagons, and these are where most of the people already are living. And in the blue hexagons are lakes. The turquoise hexagons are wetlands, and these surround the lakes. And I intend to protect these wetlands without harming any of them. The yellow is a sand pit, and this is where the snakes live. The black is roads, and this is where it connects the northern part of West Page Borough to the southern part of West Page Borough. And then we have a hiking trail, which is symbolized by a yellow line. And we have a large area to develop on, as well as many habitats. So I propose these to be the protected areas. The protected areas are symbolized by areas covered in red oval. And so, I already said before that I intend to protect wetlands. So I circled the wetlands around Mill Lake in a red oval, as well as Page Pond and Gates Lake and Gates River. And the space that's in between Page Pond and Gates River I intend to protect, as well as next to the other side of the road. And this is because I will have many other places for development. Over here, there is not any current population living here, so I intend to protect it just the way it is. If I were to protect areas near houses and other civilization, then I wouldn't be protecting anything because humans would be trespassing in between these and would not be taking care of these habitats. So I intend to take care of places where it is quite far away from human interaction. But there are hiking trails which can help people to see beautiful landscapes. So I intend to protect all wetlands, and I want to protect forest edge. As you can see, I want to protect the trees surrounding other habitats. The intersection between wetlands and grasslands I intend to protect. This is because the populations of deer and redneck pheasants are decreasing, and I want these populations to become larger again. So I also want to protect areas that are getting intersected by 2 or more habitats. As for the developing areas, I propose them to be in blue rectangles, and I put them near places where there's already development. So as you can see by this large rectangle here, there's already people living here, as well as this empty grasslands. So I can develop this entire area, and it's between both wetlands, and I'm not harming any wetlands which is in between this. As well as developing in both of these areas where there's already human civilization, and this area where there's already human civilization. And since part of this hiking trail will be gone due to development, I included another hiking trail that only connects protected areas. So this ensures people a more valuable experience of nature. I also connected a new road which could help engage more communication between the northern part and the southern part of West Page Borough. And over here we already have an established place of homing and apartments and condos. So I intend to develop around this area to make it a bigger place, a bigger city. And here's the overall map. As you can see, everything fits in perfectly. I have my protected areas on the right of this road, and I have developing areas near already established homes and apartments, and I'm protecting all the wetlands available. And I'm also protecting the trees over here. And I'm also building a new hiking trail as well as a new road. And this is the overall map of West Page Borough. So the next step is ecosystem services. So what are ecosystem services? Well, they are services that are provided in a town to help the environment and the people around them. Some examples of important ecosystem services are gas regulation, water supply, nutrient cycling, waste treatment, recreation, and erosion control. These are just a few of the many ecosystem services provided in West Page Borough. So the first one is gas regulation. Well, what is gas regulation? Well, it's basically telling us that the CO2, carbon dioxide, and the O2 has to balance. And we need both to be equalized and balanced. This is because when there's too much CO2, it's harder for animals and humans to breathe. And when there's too much oxygen, there's fewer plants to live. And due to deforestation in my plan, there will obviously be less oxygen in the air. However, the ecosystem service will also help us to plant more trees, and so we can have gas regulation of CO2 and O2 back to normal. As for water regulation, we need the regulation of hydrological flows. We need the agricultural flow, and we need the irrigation in this water supply. And this helps provide for farming and food production. And the water regulation is really important because the town needs water in order to live. And so the regulation between water from place to place is really important, so each person gets the amount of water needed. And water supply is where the water regulation comes from. As for nutrient cycling is very important. If there's more pollutants and there's more pollution, then there would always be less nutrients traveling within air. And since we're deforesting, all of the waste will cause the nutrients to be slow moving. And so nutrient cycling is very important. We have to decrease the amount of waste going into town. And so we have to create separate landfills for nutrient cycling to occur. As for waste treatment, there's obviously 3 major steps. There's primary, secondary, and tertiary treatment. And each step is very important in treating water. When we throw waste into water, we need this water to be treated so it can be regulated to places for farming and for homes. As for recreational purposes, we have many activities such as sport fishing and many other important activities, and this provides opportunities for many people to enjoy outdoor activities, because if we keep on cutting down trees, then there would be obviously no recreational activities, and this is not good for West Page Borough. Another important ecosystem service is erosion control. If we have too much pollution entering into the water, the water will obviously have a major effect on erosion. It will erode more soil and carry more fertile soil back into the ocean, which is not good for West Page Borough. Since there's less trees already being cut down, we need more trees, and if there's less soil, then we cannot plant more trees. So erosion control is very important for West Page Borough. As for West Page Borough residents, the plan is not only done by construction workers and other technological people. We also need the citizens to have equal effort. And so we need to have West Page Borough residents to have educated manners in taking care of the environment. And we also need the residents to plant more trees. Since we're already deforesting some trees, there would obviously be less CO2. In order to cope with this problem, we need residents to plant more trees in order to cope for the loss. And residents have to also place laws, fines, and punishments for wildlife conservation. If a person breaks these rules, then they should be punished for trespassing this. Since there's already less wildlife there, we should preserve this wildlife so it keeps on growing into the future. In conclusion, this plan will help sustain the 50% increase in population and will help manage the needs of the environment as well as the animals. There will be symbiosis between animals and humans, and this will help create a better ecosystem which has better energy flow within. It will also help have proper trophic levels and dynamic levels between animals and humans, and it will create a very efficient food chain and ecosystem.